Here is the story of two mysterious twins, June and Jennifer Gibbons, who chose to live in silence and isolation, refusing to speak to anyone else. Bound together by an intense, almost unbreakable connection, they created a world only they could inhabit, rejecting society and even their family. Yet their bond came with a dark price. One sister would ultimately die to set the other free. What follows is the complete story, told through the experiences and reflections of the surviving sister, June, who now lives on with the memories of their strange, entwined lives.
My name is June Alison Gibbons, and I had a twin sister called Jennifer, and we were known as silent twins.
June and Jennifer Gibbons, often called the silent twins, are a haunting and fascinating case of twin psychology, marked by their exclusive bond, shared isolation, and remarkable, tragic journey. Born on April 11, 1963, in Barbados, the twins moved to Haverford, West Wales with their family when they were young. Their parents, Gloria and Aubrey Gibbons, emigrated for better job opportunities, with Aubrey working as a technician in the Royal Air Force. As the only black children in a predominantly white community, the twins were subject to constant bullying and racism, which deepened their isolation. June and Jennifer's connection went beyond the usual closeness of twins, eventually resulting in their withdrawal from everyone else. Their shared trauma, isolation, and rejection by society seemed to forge a world that only they could inhabit. This led them to create a unique language understood only by each other, a blend of English with fast, rhythmic speech that was indecipherable to others. As they grew, the twins synchronized nearly every part of their lives, from mirroring body movements to creating identical expressions, as though moving in tandem. Their parents and teachers noticed that the twins would freeze or become expressionless if forced to interact with others. Family members recall that they often moved in perfect synchrony, an eerie reflection of their mental and emotional unity.
We had our language. Me and my sister spoke. We knew what we were saying. My mother had to guess what we were saying, and she was one that was a bit worried about us.
And they were always shy, and they're not speaking. Well, they spoke, but we couldn't understand what they were saying. Yeah. But that's the trouble. And then when they knew that we couldn't understand, they went back in the shell,
As they entered their teenage years, the twins further retreated into their room, where they began to explore writing as a means of self-expression. They filled diaries, journals, and notebooks with imaginative stories and dark poetry. Their stories were often surreal, reflecting themes of desire, conflict, and tension. In one of June's novels, for example, a boy turns violent under the weight of social rejection, mirroring the twins' feelings of alienation. They would later attempt to publish some of these works, demonstrating a desire for acknowledgement and validation from the outside world, even as they shunned it. The journals also revealed that while they relied on each other, their relationship was turbulent and ambivalent.
Write books. There was something to be proud of, isn't it? We can't speak, can't contribute in a normal way. We do it in a different way. Write books and be bestsellers and let our family feel proud of us. Now the twins have written books, they're famous, and it's so nice.
Jennifer's writing often portrayed June as a rival and even expressed violent thoughts, while June's entries depicted Jennifer as a controlling figure. The twins seemed caught in an internal battle, struggling with a love-hate dynamic where each twin felt simultaneously confined by and dependent on the other.
We wondered what would happen to us if we didn't speak. Because when we were 16, we were in our bedroom, and we weren't mixing like other teenagers, going out, nightclubbing, and going to discos. So we wondered whether we would end up staying in our bedroom right through our 20s, writing books, or whether we would go out, make friends, and get married, have kids. It wasn't to be, was it?
By their late teens, June and Jennifer's psychological struggles translated into acts of rebellion. They sought excitement and thrill, leading them to experiment with alcohol, drugs, and ultimately petty crime. They idolized an American boy who encouraged their risky behavior, and this influence pushed them into a series of arson attacks, vandalism, and theft. Their crimes included setting a tractor on fire and attempting to burn down a building. These acts of defiance eventually led to their arrest in 1981, at the age of 18, and they were subsequently convicted of arson and vandalism. Instead of conventional imprisonment, the Gibbons twins were sentenced to Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric hospital, where they would remain for nearly 12 years. Broadmoor was known for its severe treatment methods, which included heavy doses of antipsychotic medications, affecting the twins' health and perception. The institutional environment was especially grueling for them, as it restricted their interactions with each other and intensified their psychological issues. During their time there, Jennifer developed severe side effects, including blurred vision due to the strong medication. Her journals from Broadmoor reveal feelings of despair and entrapment. June later described their time there as 12 years of hell, expressing that the forced isolation from the outside world had only worsened their mental state. Despite occasional attempts to engage with therapists, the twins remained uncooperative, often resorting to self-imposed silence as their only means of control. June and Jennifer tried to convince doctors that they had started speaking more openly, hoping to secure an early release, but were repeatedly denied. Their sense of hopelessness was palpable in the letters they wrote to their family, and at one point they even reached out to the Queen, pleading for a pardon.
We were different, we were twins, and we were different colour. So they picked on us. We were like that. And we didn't speak to anybody. They got like extra strange. We didn't speak to anybody. And they kept saying, why won't they speak? Can't they speak English? Why can't they talk? And the more they said that, the more we shut up.
And that they were very negative in school and secretive, but there was nothing about their academic level. Oh, and also that they didn't speak at all, the school said, and that it was thought they didn't speak English, but a sort of African click language.
Journalist Marjorie Wallace became involved with their story in the early 1980s, conducting interviews and gathering information for what would become her book, The Silent Twins. Wallace's visits provided an outlet for the twins to express their inner worlds, and over time they began to open up to her, revealing the intensity of their bond and the darkness underlying it. Wallace discovered through Jennifer's diary that she and June had developed what they referred to as a life pact, a chilling agreement that one of them must die for the other to live freely. This pact stemmed from the realization that neither could have a life outside their shared existence, as they felt bound by an invisible force that kept them from expressing individuality. The twins confided to Wallace that they had reached a mutual understanding that one of them would need to sacrifice herself for the other's freedom. Jennifer seemed to assume the role of the one who would die, a decision they both accepted with grim resignation. Wallace recalls that Jennifer became increasingly withdrawn, almost as if she were preparing for her own end.
I felt that June would cope better with the separation because she was the more malleable, because she seemed to, of the two of them, have a few inner resources, whereas I felt that Jennifer had no inner resources whatsoever.
I said, why me? My whole life is why me. Why me to be the one that has to do this and that first? So I say, I'm not leaving the home to be the carving first. Why me first? Why going to take Jennifer first? Why me all the time? My whole life is why me. That's my life story. Why me?
In March 1993, the twins were scheduled to be transferred to a lower security facility in Wales. During the transfer, Jennifer reportedly told June, "I'm going to die," and shortly after arriving at the new hospital, she did. Jennifer passed away from acute myocarditis, a rare inflammation of the heart, which baffled doctors as she had no prior health conditions to explain it. Her sudden death was both shocking and eerily consistent with the pact she had made with her sister. Following Jennifer's death, a remarkable transformation occurred in June. She began to speak openly and behaved as though a heavy burden had been lifted. She described feeling free for the first time and was soon discharged from the hospital. Returning to society as an individual, June moved close to her family and began leading a relatively quiet life. She later expressed mixed feelings about her past, explaining in interviews that she both loved and resented Jennifer, but ultimately felt that Jennifer's death had granted her a new lease on life. The story of June and Jennifer Gibbons has continued to captivate the public, inspiring several documentaries, books, and a recent 2022 film adaptation, The Silent Twins, directed by Agnieszka Smoczynska and starring Letitia Wright and Tamara Lawrence. Wallace's book, which was published in 1986, remains one of the most comprehensive explorations of the twins' life, offering insights into their psychological complexities. The twins' legacy is one of mystery and tragic beauty, a tale of shared trauma, and an exploration into the depths of human connection, identity, and sacrifice.